My name is Legina, and I was infected when I was 25 years old.
My name is John. I was infected when I was 24 years old.
My name is Natalie. I was infected when I was 18 years old.
My name is Warren, and I was 29 years old when I was infected with the AIDS virus.
My name is Samantha, and I was infected at birth.
My cousin died of AIDS about 6 months ago.
I have a friend with AIDS and I see him living with it day by day.
To live with HIV, I think, would be very devastating.
Just one sexual relationship can mess up your entire life.
The 3 years that I worked in Hollywood, I guest starred on 25 primetime shows and 5 feature films and about 100 music videos.
I wanted to be an astronaut.
I always wanted someone with me.
I wanted to have a friend. I wanted to have a male friend.
I would get married and have 2 children, 1 boy and 1 girl, and that's what I planned to do.
You know, I wanted to be loved by someone.
I had a million goals I wanted to accomplish. You know, I wanted to do so much.
I was just longing for a relationship.
I was actually a beauty queen. This was a long time ago. And he was a racing driver.
Before I was married, I did, drugs like cocaine and stuff like that, even while I was married.
I don't know where I heard the word queer the first time, but I began wondering if that's what I was.
I was kind of a good girl.
Met someone, found out he was gay, he invited me over. That kind of led me into the gay lifestyle.
He was flashy, he was cocky, he was sexy.
I'm not saying that was the reason why my wife and I split up. It was basically because of a conflict of interest, and we just could not communicate.
Went into my first gay bar at 17, and from there began a very destructive lifestyle.
After about 6 years of knowing him and then dating him for a while, he asked me to marry him, and I wasn't ready, so I said no.
Samantha's mom was married before.
Once we did split up, I think it probably took me a couple. And once you get over the hurt and the pain, and then once you realize you're not going to get back together.
I was told he was a drug user.
I was drinking, doing drugs, and being very promiscuous, sleeping around. Had a couple of venereal diseases.
I was coming in contact with a lot of nice-looking, very clean-cut, educated, healthy-looking women, which I thought was healthy at the time also.
And he asked a second time, and I still wasn't ready, so I said no. But on his third proposal, I felt like I was ready to take that step.
In about 1983, I met a gentleman, and in 1984, we had a garden ceremony, committed our lives to each other. I thought, okay, that's going to make me happy. That's what I really want.
I got out there in the world again. So I was still using drugs and going to parties and picking up ladies and so forth.
It was a very, very romantic proposal.
While we were together in that relationship of 8 years, we brought people home into the relationship.
I was just fulfilling my sexual needs, or the needs of my flesh. At that time, when I was working at a casino, if I'd go to a club and pick up someone, then if that person is willing and I'm willing, for that particular one night, then it's fine. But there was no obligation there.
I wanted to please him. And so I saw that giving myself to him physically was like a gift. It was to consummate our engagement.
I wanted affection, thinking that if I was sexual with this person, maybe I would have some type of affection.
Right after the proposal and right after we made love, he immediately scared me with his response. He became very angry, verbally abusive, and he withdrew from me emotionally.
I told him we needed to not ever do that again, and it happened. Lots of people wish they could go back and change an instant in their life, but it shouldn't have happened, and it did, and so we know exactly where the situation occurred.
He was supposed to come and visit me out in California, where I was living at the time, and spend Thanksgiving with me, and we talked the day before Thanksgiving, and he never showed up, and he never called.
I don't know who infected me, and I can't say that I can look at one individual that I had sex with that looked like they had the virus. and say that, okay, that person is the one.
I got a phone call from a sports agent who knew that Tim and I were involved, and he called me and said, "What is going on? I heard Tim is in the hospital dying from AIDS."
I found out very oddly. We applied for life insurance, thinking nothing. I was at work, and I got a phone call from my partner saying our insurance policies came back saying non-insurable. And for some reason, I just knew. And I said to him, I said, we must be HIV positive.
I received a letter from the medical facility which I took the exam at. And the letter read, "You have a potentially serious condition of a personal nature." Now, with the lifestyle I was leading after my marriage, I'm not stupid or naive or dumb. I knew I was taking a big risk.
I went to my gynecologist and I said, "Please test me for AIDS." And he said, "Women don't get AIDS, and you're the last person to get AIDS. That's a waste of your time and money." And I said, "Well, please, just for my peace of mind, can I have a test?" And my test came back negative.
Man, I really screwed up this time.
He was sick for probably 2 years.
Then she met our son, and they had no idea that she'd been infected by her first husband. And when Sam was born, they found out that they were infected, both of them. It was a shock to the family.
I got AIDS from my mother.
They called me one day when a friend of mine was going to see him and said, he was going by, and she came upstairs and said, "By the way, Gary died an hour ago."
It hurts so much. And I kept saying, "You're lying, you're a liar." "No, I don't." She said, "Yes."
No one knew to tell me then to get a second test. But the rumors continued about Tim, and so I went to get the second test. And this time, my gynecologist called me, and he was weeping on the telephone. And he said, "Legina, are you sitting down?" And as soon as he said that, I knew that I had AIDS. And from that moment, my life completely changed. All of my hopes and dreams were dashed, were crushed.
If I had AIDS, I'd probably be really, really depressed. It would be very dramatic for me.
I would probably think about committing suicide. I'd want to die quickly.
When it hurts so bad is when, the first couple of months, after you run, emotionally, physically, keep your mind going. You go to work, you go to school, you do anything. Just keep your mind from thinking it. And it finally hits you. You say, "Oh God, I'm not going to do what I was supposed. I'm not going to do what I'm supposed to. I'm not going to finish school. Is anyone ever going to love me?"
I can remember thinking, I can't believe I'm not going to live to be 30 years old.
My mom died when I was 3, and my dad died when I was 7.
I felt dirty, contaminated, poisonous.
I can remember driving in my car thinking, I have this time bomb. I used to imagine this time bomb, like when was it going to explode?
What I feel is sad, and sometimes I just want to cry.
I was so ashamed of myself, and I developed a real hatred for myself.
When I told my mother, because I thought she was the second to the closest person I could talk to. And she told me, "I don't love you anymore because I can't believe you did this to me." And she was disappointed.
It was devastating, it still is. And usually the kids bury their parents, not the other way around.
Sometimes I get mad because I want to be like the other kids, but I never can be like the other kids.
I would have these horrible thoughts of just wanting to kill myself.
Being alone with this disease, it makes you feel like you're nobody anymore.
You've got to deal with a lot of issues, and it's bad enough to be dealing with all the problems with your health. Then you've got to deal with the people all around you as well. Some people just don't care to be around you.
I feel like people didn't see Natalie. They didn't see me. They saw the disease. They called me as well. The girl with HIV, the girl who's dealing with this. They didn't see me. I wanted them to see Natalie. I wanted them to see me.
It hurts. It definitely hurts. It just crushes your whole entire month. Not your day, your month.